Hi guys, this is Richard from the Stable Center, and today I'll be covering Filecoin. Full disclosure, I do own Filecoin, but nothing I say in this video is financial advice. In today's video, we will start off with this brand new news article with a $100 price target claiming that Filecoin is the AWS of Web3. Then we will analyze Filecoin from both a Wyckoff Accumulation perspective and a Wyckoff Redistribution perspective. So, cloud storage runs today's digital world, and giants like AWS dominate it. But in Web3, Filecoin is quickly rising as the decentralized alternative. At just $2.30 with a $1.58 billion market cap, some analysts believe Filecoin could one day become the AWS of Web3 with bold predictions of a $100 Filecoin by 2030. With new tools like Filecoin web services, cross-chain bridges, and decentralized application support, Filecoin is steadily building the foundation for decentralized data dominance. Filecoin's edge comes from its decentralized storage marketplace powered by IPFS. Instead of relying on AWS or Google, it connects users directly to providers, making data easier to verify and harder to censor. The pricing is definitely a game changer, about 19 cents per gigabyte per month, nearly 80% cheaper than AWS. By early 2025, Filecoin had already locked storage deals, and the July V26 upgrade made transactions faster and cheaper by slashing gas fees. Together, these milestones prove Filecoin isn't just competing with cloud giants, it's becoming a serious alternative. Filecoin is not only growing on its own, but also building bridges with other blockchain ecosystems. In June of 2025, Filecoin announced a cross-chain data bridge with Avalanche, enabling scalable and verifiable storage across networks. This kind of interoperability is crucial because Web3 thrives on connections between chains rather than isolated ecosystems. Another big step was the launch of Filecoin web services in late 2024. Designed as an open source alternative to AWS, FWS allows developers to build, store, and manage data in a decentralized way. Unlike traditional cloud services, FWS removes central points of control, making it resistant to censorship or data manipulation. Community support has also been very strong through initiatives like Pro PGF grants. The Filecoin Foundation awarded $3.6 million in August of 2025 to developers building on its platforms. These grants fuel innovation in areas like NFTs, scientific data archives, and even AI integrations. So, Filecoin's journey has been marked by steady progress. After raising $257 million in its ICO, aka initial coin offering, and launching in 2020, it survived the 2022 market crash whilst expanding IPFS. By 2024, it launched Filecoin Web Services as a decentralized AWS alternative. In 2025, the V26 upgrade cut transaction fees, a cross chain bridge with Avalanche went live in June, and $3.6 million in community grants were distributed in August. Looking forward, some analysts believe a $100 Filecoin could definitely be possible by 2030 if adoption scales. However, that being said, challenges do remain. Filecoin faces competition from decentralized rivals like Arweave and from centralized giants like AWS and Google. Regulatory uncertainty around data privacy could slow adoption, especially in stricter jurisdictions. And whilst Filecoin can already handle massive amounts of data, scaling performance for demanding use cases like AI training is still a technical hurdle it must overcome. So, Filecoin's growth shows a big change in how people think about storing data. Whilst centralized storage has some advantages, it also comes with serious risks such as hacks and data breaches. Filecoin addresses these risks by spreading data across thousands of independent providers. This approach reduces the chance of a single failure and gives users more control over their information. If blockchain technology keeps growing and industries like AI, DeFi, and NFTs need more decentralized storage, Filecoin could become an important part of Web3's foundation. The idea of Filecoin reaching $100 by 2030 is definitely ambitious, but not out of reach. It's based on the belief that decentralized data storage will become much more common, a trend that is already starting to take shape around the world. All right, so let's move over to TradingView and start with the Wyckoff analysis. Filecoin is potentially trading in Wyckoff Accumulation schematic number 2. As you can see on screen, Filecoin's price action is mimicking the schematic almost to a T. Preliminary support in wave A, preliminary support in wave A, selling climax in phase A, selling climax in phase A, automatic rally in phase A, automatic rally in phase A, secondary test in phase A, secondary test in phase A, rally, rally, followed by a dump for the secondary test in phase B, dump into a secondary test in phase B. So Filecoin is currently in the process of forming a secondary test, ST, in phase B. As you can see in the Wyckoff schematic itself, the next rally should take the price of Filecoin into the Wyckoff resistance levels. In Filecoin's case, the Wyckoff resistance levels are located between $9.40 and $11.85. Those are the first bull market price targets for Filecoin. If Filecoin manages to break above the Wyckoff resistance levels, the next targets are the blue 1.618 Fibonacci retracement and the 2018 bull market top, which span between $20.69 to $30.06. Those are the second bull market price targets for Filecoin. And finally, the third bull market price targets for Filecoin are the 2.272 to 2.414 Fibonacci retracements, which are located between $53.57 to $65.85. So that is the Wyckoff accumulation perspective. Let's talk about the Wyckoff redistribution perspective, which I have not shared on this channel yet. So the Wyckoff redistribution schematic is the screenshot on the right, and the Wyckoff accumulation schematic is the screenshot on the left. The key difference between a redistribution and an accumulation is how price reacts to the Wyckoff resistance levels after the rally from the ST in phase B. In an accumulation on the left, price forms an LPS in phase C, otherwise known as a last point of supply, where market makers absorb whatever supply is left on the market before the eventual breakout to the upside in phases C, D, and E. On the other hand, in a redistribution on the right, price basically forms a bull market top right at the Wyckoff resistance levels after the rally from the ST in phase B, and price eventually crashes to new bear market lows, hence the name redistribution. So we have two very different perspectives here. So how do we play this Wyckoff game? Well, the best way to play this Wyckoff game is to own a Filecoin position during the secondary test or ST in phase B. The reason is because regardless of the long-term outcome, both the accumulation and redistribution schematics still have Filecoin rallying to the Wyckoff resistance levels. It doesn't matter if Filecoin is trading in an accumulation or redistribution because for the rest of this bull market, we should still be netting anywhere between 3 to 400% return on our investment if Filecoin rallies from here to the Wyckoff resistance levels located between $9.46 to $11.85. So now that we know how to play the Wyckoff game, let's actually determine whether the bear market low is in for Filecoin. So let me zoom in. So as you can see on screen, in the short term, Filecoin is trading in a falling wedge, which has a higher probability of breaking out to the upside. However, it's not a guarantee. There are definitely no guarantees in finance. Additionally, I have one last support zone for Filecoin, and that's it. If Filecoin breaks under this support zone, then Filecoin is most likely not trading in any sort of an accumulation. And that support zone is the 2.272 to 2.414 trend-based fib extensions located between $1.63 to $2.10. Should Filecoin break under $1.63, I will admit that I am wrong. The reason I can't have Filecoin make up such a large percentage of my portfolio, like Chainlink and XRP, is because there is no guarantee that Filecoin has definitively put in the secondary test, or ST, in phase B. Essentially, that's fancy words for I'm not sure if Filecoin has put in a new bear market low yet. As I spoke about in the first Filecoin video, I am essentially gambling that Filecoin has put in a secondary test, or ST, in phase B, or relatively close to putting in a secondary test, or ST, in phase B. There is definitely nothing wrong with gambling as long as you are exercising proper risk management. I still believe Filecoin presents an excellent risk to reward ratio at current prices around $2.30, and this remains one of the best high risk, high reward trade setups that exist in the cryptocurrency market today. All right, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.